It's been a couple of weeks since I last did an update via my email list, and I'm going to continue at least for the time being with this video format, as it just helps me from a time point of view. I've finished my work commission now in Bisley, and been a very hectic 6 weeks, I have to say, and very soon I'm going to be taking some time off with my beautiful wife and daughter, spend some quality time and have a bit of holiday time with them. But in the meantime, things still go on in the community, and I'm having a tour around today just to look at some of the issues that residents have identified and emailed me about, so that I can follow up on those, and also have a look to see if there's any other things I can spot myself. So I'm going to start going around Frimley Green now. I'm under the beautiful tree on the green, getting some shade from the very hot weather that we've got right now. But yeah, I'm going to head off on my bike now around Mytchett, Frimley Green and Deepcut, and follow up on some of the issues that have been reported. I'm sat on the memorial bench to Bob Potter in Frimley Green, and this bench has opinions divided. Some people think it's a fitting tribute to Bob Potter, who was a very prominent figure in Frimley Green and the local community, and did a lot of work for charities, in particular Frimley Park Hospital. But other people think that it's not really in keeping with the local environment. Nonetheless, what people wanted to know is, did the people who put the bench here have permission from the council? And I can report that they did, and that everything was above board, and that this bench was put here with the full permission of the council. Now, some may argue that the policy around memorial benches might need looking at, to make sure that in future any benches are in keeping with the local environment, you know, and have the correct aesthetic, let's say. But nonetheless, this bench is here perfectly legitimately, and actually I'm sat on it now while I'm recording this video, and it's very comfortable, and regardless of what you think of it, it's here now, and I think we should probably just get behind the fact that it's here and celebrate the life of a really public-spirited local figure. I'm at the intersection between the Hatches, Bedford Lane and the Green in Frimley Green, and this dip in the road has a lot of people vexed, and I can understand why. I mean, I'd had reported to me quite a few times that this dip in the road hadn't been reinstated properly, and that residents wanted whoever was responsible to come back and reinstate it properly. Some people seem to think because Surrey County Council are the Highway Authority that it was their responsibility. Actually, it's not. This work that was done here, I believe, and I might have this slightly wrong, although it is definitely a utility company. I think it was Thames Water. There was a leak here. They came to fix the leak, but never reinstated the road properly, to my mind and to residents' minds. So I followed that up with the Highway Authority and asked them to follow up with Thames Water or whoever the utility company was, to get them to come back and reinstate it, which they did and have done several times, is my understanding. But this is their latest effort, and it hasn't resolved the dip in the road. It doesn't look like it's been done properly again. That said, I'm no expert on such matters. I don't know what they did underneath that latest bit of tarmac that they've put there. I don't know if they just lobbed in a bit of tarmac and flattened it down. No idea. But residents are unhappy with this reinstatement. So once again, I will go back to the Highway Authority and ask them to talk to Thames Water, or at the very least come out, inspect it to make sure that it is of an acceptable standard as far as the Highways Authority are concerned. I'm under a lovely tree in the shade, getting some respite from the sun. I'm on Gresham Way, and I've had reported to me from a local resident about her unhappiness of the state of the road, potholes, delamination, that type of thing. And I've come down here to look at the road, and actually the base of the road is a concrete sort of sub base under the tarmac. So there's about an inch, maybe 2 inches of tarmac, and then under that is solid concrete. And for some reason, at the time that these houses were built and these roads were constructed, that was the technique they used, which was a concrete base and then tarmac, a thin layer of tarmac over the top. Now, the benefit of that road construction is that the roads actually last for a very, very long time and require very little maintenance under that thin layer of tarmac. But the disadvantage is that the tarmac easily breaks up with cars going over them, and over time these sort of what residents call potholes, but the technical term is delamination, occurs. And it's actually very difficult to maintain that without just scraping off the tarmac and completely relaying it, but then the problem just occurs very quickly after that. I do know that Surrey County Council invested in a milling machine, which is basically where they take the tarmac off and then fine mill the concrete to make it look nice and level, and then just leave that without re-tarmacking it. I need to find out where the council are with that. I know it was a trial and I don't know if they carried it on or not, so I am going to look into that and see if it is something that we might be able to do down here, and if not, I'll find out what our options are and report back to residents in due course. Another issue that's been reported to me for Gresham Way and Garrick Way is overhanging vegetation onto the footpath. Now, at first when I received that report, I thought the residents meant that perhaps it was grass verges that hadn't been cut and that they were sort of growing across the footpath. But now that I'm here and I've had a look, actually I think what they mean is a vegetation from private property boundaries that are growing onto the footpath and basically making difficult for people with pushchairs, wheelchairs and that type of thing to use the footpaths. Now, I'm not going to show any of those examples on this video because I don't think it's fair to highlight specific properties or whatever. I'm sure that if the residents of those properties knew that they were causing an issue, they would do something about it. So I don't think that there's any ill intent on residents' part as far as that's concerned, but what I will do is ask the council to write to residents. There is actually a postcard that they put through people's doors just to remind them about their responsibilities in terms of keeping vegetation on their boundaries cut back. I'll ask them to come down here and put that through everybody's doors to see if that's something that might mitigate the issue. Just now I've met with a resident to discuss Winterborn Walk, which is just off Balmoral Drive and where I am right now. So it's a footpath that runs a circular route around this section of Balmoral Drive and Sandringham Way. So there are several issues here and I'm going to go through them one by one. So the first issue is overhanging foliage onto the footpath and just generally unkept. One resident has taken upon himself or herself to chop down, I understand, that part of this tree that was overhanging because it was dangerous, and there is another very dangerous branch actually hanging down a little bit further up. Here's an example of a very dangerous branch hanging down, to my mind. I mean, if I was cycling along here at night and this thing literally at head height could cause a serious injury to somebody. There's also this overhanging foliage over here, and just round the corner leads me to the next issue, which has been an issue for quite some time, is an overflowing dog bin. I mean, look at that, it's absolutely disgusting. I'm going to show you some other grim dog bins around here. I've no idea why Surrey Heath Borough Council can't get a grip of this problem. It was an issue when I was a councillor, and it's still an issue now, despite, you know, assurances that this problem would be sorted out by the contractors. It's very disappointing that 2 years after I was a councillor at Surrey Heath Borough Council that this is still an issue, and Surrey Heath need to get a grip of this. My understanding is that this whole area is the responsibility of Surrey Heath Borough Council and their contractors, Glendale. That is my understanding. I don't know whether that's for sure. I'm going to get this looked into. But look at this here. There's a dog bin just round the corner there, and somebody's hung their dog bag in the bush there, which boggles my mind, to be honest with you, why people do that. It's just unbelievable. But this location is in a dreadful state and needs sorting out. I'm going to go around to the other side now and just highlight a couple of other issues. So another issue that was identified by the resident who met me earlier was this dog bin in here, inside this very unkempt, unmaintained bit of scrubland here, just off Winterborn Walk, and there's a dog bin here. Now at the moment it is empty, or rather it's not overflowing. Apparently it has overflowed in the past, but I think that probably the reason why it's the only one that isn't overflowing is because no one knows it's here. It seems to be quite a bizarre location to put a dog bin, frankly. I've no idea why they've put it here. You would expect them to put it in a more high profile, more visible location so that people actually use it. Perhaps the rationale of not putting it here in a more prominent location is that maybe these houses here wouldn't want a dog bin in sight of their property, and that I can understand. Well, and if that's the case, then put it somewhere else, maybe on the corner of the road here, which will make it easier for maintenance operatives to maintain it and empty it from time to time. So yeah, this is bizarre, and it's something I'm going to raise with the council and find out why. And that's Surrey Heath Borough Council, by the way. But find out their rationale for sticking it in the middle of this little copse here, which to my mind seems ridiculous. I'm at the other end of Winterborn Walk now, and the large green space here and copse, and there's another dog bin stuck in the middle of the copse. This one a little bit more grim, frankly. I mean, you can see that there's a black bin bag there. I'm not going to get too close because it's making me want to yak, to be honest with you. But it's full of empty dog waste bags. There's flies everywhere. I'm going to go inside here to the dog bin, which looks like it's not overflowing. And my suspicion is the reason why that bag has been left there is perhaps that this bin was overflowing, and a public spirited resident has taken the bag out and put it on the edge there, hoping that operatives will come and collect it and put in a fresh bin bag. That's my speculation as to what's happened here. But it's clear to me that the bins stuck in the middle of these copses out of sight are not working, and this whole thing needs to be revisited. I'm walking past that bag now, holding my nose. It's utterly disgusting. Residents shouldn't have to put up with this. Surrey Heath Borough Council need to get a grip of this, and I will be putting in a very strong email complaining about this and demanding action. Now that I'm back at base, I've had a chance to get in touch with Surrey Heath Borough Council and the Green Space team there to discuss some of the issues there at Winterborn Walk. So this is an update to that segment that I've recorded. So basically the reason why the foliage is overhanging and has not been cut back is because of bird nesting season. And actually that ends I think they told me today or tomorrow it is the end of the bird nesting season, and during that time they're not allowed to cut back foliage and branches and trees and that type of thing, which is understandable. So there's a reasonable explanation as to why those things haven't been maintained, but I'm assured that is going to be taken care of either today or tomorrow. So hopefully where you saw in my video those bins that were inside the copse there, the wood there, that's all going to be chopped back and made much more accessible for people to use those bins. But I do believe there needs to be a conversation had about the location of those bins. I would suggest they probably need relocating, and I will have that conversation with the green space team, but I wanted to get these more imminent issues taken care of. And I also discussed the overflowing dog bins and that grim black bag full of doggy bags, and the removal of, and I was assured that would be taken care of very, very quickly also. So hopefully those issues should be taken care of very quickly, and that dangerous overhanging branch, that's going to get taken care of very quickly too. So big thank you to the resident who met me this morning to discuss those issues. Hopefully they're going to be resolved very quickly. I'm at the Mindenhurst School, or rather Lakeside School as it's now called, and just behind me is the barrack blocks for Princess Royal Barracks, which are being demolished as I record this. And quite a few residents have asked me what chemical it is that they're spraying over the work that they're demolishing. And actually it's not a chemical at all, it's just water, and it's a dust suppression system that they use to keep the dust levels down while they're demolishing the site. It's highly effective. Yeah, that's the reason why they're spraying water over the buildings that they're smashing down. I'm now at the park in Deepcut, the new wonderful park, as part of the Mindenhurst development. Very popular with residents from even much further than Deepcut actually. I suppose the Frog Pub helps with that, which does make Deepcut a destination. But I've had an inquiry about the park area. Actually, it was a wasp's nest that had been reported to me, and the resident wanted to know who that should be reported to, whether it's the council or someone else. Actually, right now, this play area and the park area has not been adopted by the council yet. So it's actually Skanska, the developer of Mindenhurst, who is responsible for it. I've reported that wasp's nest to Skanska, and they've confirmed that they're going to deal with it. But if local residents have any issues relating to the play area, park area, village green, going forward, for now, that is the responsibility of Skanska, so that's where you would report any issues. I'm at the Green Swathe in Deepcut, and this location is still an issue and continues to be fenced off and not publicly accessible, and this is as a result of a legal dispute, I suppose you could call it, between Skanska and Surrey Heath Borough Council. Surrey Heath Borough Council's is been very slow to get this matter resolved, and it's completely unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. I think that residents deserve this issue to be resolved as quickly as possible. So I have organised a meeting with Skanska, or trying to organise a meeting, I should say, with Skanska. I've been, as I've reported before, busy for the last several weeks with a work commission in Bisley, and the senior member of staff at Skanska is now on holiday, but a meeting is in the process of being organised in the next couple of weeks, and I want to try and get to the bottom of what the issue is, and to see if there's any pressure I can bring to bear to get this matter resolved as quickly as possible, so that residents who have bought properties and who rent properties here in Mindenhurst can enjoy access to the Green Swathe. You can see, if I flip my camera around, you know, it is a beautiful space. absolutely beautiful space. Looks like it's recently been cut too. And residents want to just use the space that is on their doorstep, and I can't blame them for that. So hopefully we can get this matter resolved as quickly as possible, and I will keep residents updated via my email newsletter and social media. So that's my latest community update. As I mentioned, I'm going to have some time out with the girls over the summer, but I do hope to get back to my normal weekly schedule of sending out email newsletters, certainly from the beginning of September. So thank you everybody for your support over the summer. It's been a busy time, but yeah, it's been really great to have the support of the community. And if you do have any local issues during the summer break that you want me to take care of, do drop me an email to paul.deach@surreycc.gov.uk. Hope you all have a great summer.